Good morning, everyone. I was watering my plants, just thinking about how awesome you are. And as I wanted to continue with, fighting fear and failure, I was thinking about this anti-fear and failure statements. What do you say about yourself? Or how are you feeling towards yourself? Because a lot of times what we say and do and how we feel, or better yet, what we say and know what God says about us, like we are his children and I can do all things, don't line up with how we're feeling. A lot of times I don't feel like I can do all things. Or sometimes if I'm like in a very low place, I might not even feel like a son or a king or a priest. So what do we do in those times? Are we failures right then? Are you afraid to go on? Sometimes we have to just have those statements ready, because even though we know this to be true about ourselves, because we don't feel it, we don't walk in those things that, God is telling us, hey, I've surrounded you. I'm protecting you at all times. You're in my hands. And I don't feel that way. Because I don't feel that way, I don't walk that way. And when I don't walk that way, sometimes we take the hand of protection that's on us and we kind of push it away. So for me, I know that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and I'm made in his likeness. But, a lot of times, certain people in my life can sometimes make me feel like I'm just crazy, old and sometimes ugly, inside and out. And this is where faith and belief can have to overcome the current situations, okay? That temporarily, the enemy or the adversary is just feeding us lies, or the media is feeding us lies. You got to look like this, but I don't look that way. But I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. But, this is saying, everybody looks this way. And if you look that way, the way you do, then you're not in part of the in crowd, or you might be even shunned. But God is giving you certain things to, everybody's made different. That's, oh man, part of the whole Kaizen, Moai, Bikigai type stuff that we need to have on the inside of us, so we are closer to God, that those things that's really trying to attack us don't really matter. And since everyone's circumstances are different, what I want you to do is to write down some things and really get it into your mind. So when these things pop up, boom, you got this is ready. I think, back in the day, when I read, Jesus was tempted, and then afterwards, after the temptation, devil appears. Boom. Hey. After he fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. Let's get it straight. After he fasted for 40 days, 40 nights, he was hungry. The devil was like, hey, I know you're hungry. Turn these rocks into bread. And they had exchanges back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Jesus was always ready with the word. Even when the devil hit him with the word, he was able to respond with the correct way to use it. And that's what I want you guys to have, is some things that's ready, some ready statements. When you start to have fear and failure come into your life, guess what? You got these, boom, already ready. You already saw this coming. And since you saw it coming, because you felt that way before, you know how to attack it. Every now and then, like I said, I'll I'll have a conversation with my daughter and I just feel old. Or be looking at her like, you just don't get it. But then I have to really remember who I am and what I've been through and how much I believed in myself, even though I knew nothing. How someone could give me the best advice and I could just, I don't care. That kind of thing. So some of these statements you come up with may or may not be just for a pep talk. They might be able to bring you through life when you fall into that hole of depression. Don't wish that on anybody, but sometimes you in a dark place and you like, there's no way out. But these things that you say of yourself, you know, I've been in a place where I was, you know, everything I did was just wrong. And one scripture that always came to mind is that all things work together for the good. Now, it's Romans 8:28. And when I see it, I always see the big A, the big L, and the big L. All things. So if I'm doing good, it's working together for my good. And if bad things are happening that I don't understand, because I have faith and I trust the process, I trust the person who's bringing me through these things, which I'm being brought through. If I can trust that, guess what? Also, all things, even the bad, work together for my good. Because without bad things, we can't grow. And I'm not saying that you have to experience bad things, but you have to learn those lessons. And sometimes we get the lesson when we go through it, not just from hearing it from somebody else. Because say something crazy, somebody says, okay, you can't do this. Oh, perfect example. Something that's good for you is vitamin C. Now, when I was in the military, when basic training, you're kind of deprived of everything. And in basic training, they did allow you to get vitamin C, which was it was like an orange candy, and it was good. And it was like vitamin C. It wasn't like orange candy. It was vitamin C. And the interesting thing about this vitamin C is, you know, they tell you, do not overdo it. I know it's good, but don't overdo it. Don't take more than one a day. But you know, I'm 18. Can't tell me what to do. This thing good. I want another one. And another one. And another one. And boy, that was one time I learned a lesson. You don't want to take more than one. For those who are going into basic training, you get those vitamin C things, you know, somebody talks you into it. It ain't funny when you take more than one. But I was sick as a dog. And, you know, it was all my fault. Luckily, it was the weekend and, you know, we wasn't really doing much. So I could just lay around and just, but my whole head was spinning. My whole world was turning upside down because I didn't follow the instructions. So I said this, if I feel fat or powerless or, you know, I can be overweight, and what can I tell myself even though I'm not, even if I'm feeling that way, and people are like, man, you look good, but I'm feeling like, how can these things line up? So I have to really put down these statements. I have to see myself in a positive light, even if I'm not seeing it now. You know, that's what goal setting is. If you don't see it, you set that goal. Or, you know, you have these positive statements that you're working towards. You're trying to really speak yourself into another existence, but not trying to be crazy about it. What you want to do is just really put those positive things in your head that you hear it, even if it's not what's dead in front of you, even if it's not what you're feeling on the inside. You're a great speaker. You're a great mentor. Your kids love you. You know, you make good decisions. Sometimes we have to hear it or see it as a confirmation, even though, you know, it's not registered on the inside of us. But that brings to light, and it brings more. You know, the more you focus on something, the more apt that you'll get that way. As a man thinketh, so is he. The most, you know, that's the secret advantage to everything. So reminding myself daily can help keep me on track to achieve the goals and the image I have for myself. And that's what I want really for you guys too, is to have that before you, have those things. So, like I said, when those dark clouds come, can't stay up on top forever. Something wants to knock you down. But you did get there. You're feeling good for a certain amount of time. What keeps you on top, or what brings you back to that good place, is the things that your faith that you have in the things that you tell yourself, really. Because like I said, you can read all day long. I can read that the sky is blue, but if I'm telling myself that the sky is green and everybody is wrong, when somebody says, look up there, I won't believe it. And the very reverse can happen. It's like, man, you look great. And I'm telling myself, I need to cut this. I'm way too much. I'm doing too much. I'm doing this. I'm so tired. I'm doing this. It'll counteract, and just guess what? I'm off in left field, down in the ditch, down in depression, even though everything around me is honky-dory. So let's get those anti-fear and failure statements. What's one good thing that you can tell yourself? Just leave that in the comments. And, you know, as always, I love you. Have an awesome, awesome day.